Today, I invite you to unlock one of the greatest forces in the universe, a force that transforms obstacles into opportunities, that multiplies abundance, that shifts the mind from scarcity to sufficiency. That force is gratitude. Gratitude is not merely saying thank you. It is a mental attitude, a spiritual weapon, and a magnet for miracles. It is the deliberate decision to see the good, even when the good is buried deep. When embraced fully, gratitude alters the very chemistry of our thinking. In this modern world of endless striving, comparison, and noise, many are chasing success. But let me tell you, gratitude is the gateway to success. Why? Because it trains your mind to focus on what you do have instead of what you lack, and what you focus on expands. Gratitude is the oxygen of progress. It fuels resilience. It lifts you when life pulls you down. It changes your vibration, your energy, your entire state of being. It does not ignore adversity. It overcomes it. Gratitude is not for the faint-hearted. It is for the focused, the disciplined, the visionary. Because when you're grateful before the victory, you start walking in faith instead of fear. Do not wait for perfect conditions to be grateful. Be grateful and you create the conditions. The one who is rich in gratitude is rich indeed. So I challenge you today, practice gratitude not once a week, but daily, not casually, but consciously. Write it, speak it, live it. Let gratitude be your mindset, your strategy, your power, and watch the world begin to move in your favor. Thank you. Gratitude is a state of mind that magnetizes success, wealth, health, and happiness. It is not reserved for the moment of victory. It is the mindset that precedes victory. It is not merely a response to life's blessings, it is a cause of them. The truly great do not wait for external circumstances to show appreciation. They choose gratitude as their baseline, as their internal compass, no matter the chaos outside. The individual who masters gratitude holds a power greater than money or influence, because they are no longer swayed by what's missing. They are moved by what's present. This mental shift rewires the entire nervous system to expect more of life. And when you expect more confidently and without desperation, you are already halfway to achieving it. Gratitude is a builder of momentum. Every day that begins with conscious appreciation gathers unseen forces to your side. Like attracts like, when you dwell on lack, lack multiplies. But when you dwell on what's working, what's growing, what's good, even if it's small, it becomes the seed of massive gain. It is easy to be grateful when the bank account is full, when business is booming, when relationships are smooth. But the individual of true character is grateful during the storm. They see the value in hardship. They find the lesson. They extract the gold. This ability is not mystical. It is trained. It is the result of daily discipline. Just as the body is trained through repetition, the mind is trained by persistent, focused thought. Every great achiever began by being grateful for things no one else noticed. They gave thanks not only for wins, but for the struggle, because struggle was the forge in which strength was formed. Gratitude, when practiced in difficulty, multiplies strength, confidence, and spiritual endurance. It replaces the victim mentality with ownership. It silences complaints and awakens creativity. Look around you. Count the assets you already possess. Your mind, your health, your experience, your ability to learn, your failures that taught you, the people who believe in you. These are riches that no economy can crash, no competitor can steal, no circumstance can erase. The more you acknowledge them, the more power you hold. Gratitude is not passive. It is an active declaration. I have enough to begin. I am ready to receive more. Gratitude activates action. It moves the dreamer into doing. It changes your tone, your posture, your decisions. It lifts you from excuse into execution, from self-pity into personal power, from waiting into creating. The person who builds gratitude into their morning routine is miles ahead by sunrise. Before the world starts making demands, before the chaos of the day begins, they have already claimed victory. not because everything is perfect, but because their mind is prepared, that mental conditioning is the foundation for every breakthrough that follows. Gratitude does not deny reality, it transforms it. It does not ignore the mountain, it strengthens your legs. It does not erase the problem, it opens the eyes to solutions, and the one who sees solutions is the one who will rise. Gratitude turns the mind from a battlefield into a workshop. In the absence of appreciation, thought becomes chaotic, reactionary, and unproductive. But when you root your thoughts in gratitude, clarity returns. Decision-making sharpens, doubt dissolves. You begin to respond instead of react, to lead instead of follow, to design instead of drift. Gratitude is mental order, and mental order is the foundation of achievement. Most people wait for conditions to improve before they give thanks, but the hyper-formers, the visionaries, the builders of empires, they give thanks in advance. They are grateful before the goal is reached. That is not blind optimism, that is strategic consciousness. They know that every outcome begins first in the mind, and the emotion of gratitude charges that outcome with energy, making it magnetic. The more gratitude you bring to a vision, the faster it materializes. Gratitude is the silent architect of persistence. When you're truly thankful for the opportunity to pursue your dream, you stop needing motivation. You are no longer addicted to praise or recognition. Your fuel is internal. You work harder, think deeper, and endure longer, not because you're forced to, but because you're honored to. That kind of energy cannot be stopped. It becomes a force of nature. You begin to treat obstacles differently. You no longer see them as curses. You see them as coaches. You stop resenting adversity and start welcoming the challenge, because you know what it will shape you into. This is a higher level of awareness, a mindset few reach but all can access, if they are willing to train for it. Gratitude also creates humility without weakness. It grounds the ego without silencing ambition. It reminds you that no success is achieved alone and no opportunity is owed. It helps you build with appreciation, not arrogance. With every win, gratitude brings balance. With every failure, it brings perspective. You stop taking things personally and start taking them purposefully. This shift is the mark of a maturing mind, one that no longer chases validation but walks in vision. Gratitude strips away entitlement and replaces it with stewardship. It whispers, "What you have is enough to begin, and more will come as you grow." This belief, repeated daily, builds unstoppable momentum. Most people spend their lives saying, "I'll be grateful when." But the truth is, until you're grateful now, that moment you're waiting for never comes. There is no when, there is only now, and the person who masters gratitude in the now owns the future. Gratitude is practical. It affects how you speak to others, how you show up in a room, how you handle pressure, how you recover from failure. It shows up in your posture, your decisions, your tone, your energy. People feel it. Doors open because of it. Trust grows through it. Relationships thrive on it. And most importantly, gratitude creates consistency. Success is not the result of one great effort. It is the result of steady progress. And steady progress is fueled by a grateful spirit that never forgets the value of the process. Gratitude is the rhythm of growth. It sets the pace for patience, and in a world obsessed with speed, the patient mind becomes powerful. When you are grateful, you stop forcing outcomes and start trusting timing. You understand that delay is not denial, it's development. You stop sprinting toward the next thing and start mastering the present. Gratitude slows the anxious heart and sharpens the disciplined hand. This is where real mastery begins. Gratitude makes you more aware, more observant. You start noticing what others miss, small details, subtle opportunities, hidden advantages. The grateful mind is calm enough to catch the clues that rush passes by. Gratitude tunes you to success like a radio dial. You hear what others are too noisy to notice. With this awareness comes control. You are no longer driven by circumstances because your gratitude builds internal stability. External chaos doesn't rattle you the same way. Bad news doesn't shake your foundation because you've built that foundation on the unshakable truth that no matter the outcome, you are not empty-handed, you are equipped, you are growing, you are grateful. And that mindset alone puts you in a position of power. Gratitude also enhances discipline. When you are truly thankful for your opportunity, your tools, your time, you stop wasting them. You manage your day with purpose. You train with respect. You work not because you have to, but because you get to. You understand that every minute is a seed, and gratitude waters those seeds with consistency. Gratitude creates vision, and vision creates habits. The grateful mind does not need to be reminded to act. It is already prepared to act. When you are thankful, you naturally take care of what you value. You nurture relationships. You protect your peace. You pursue your goals with care and persistence. You don't quit easily because you recognize the privilege of the path you're on. When challenges arise, and they always do, gratitude becomes your armor. It deflects negativity, cynicism, and defeat. It reminds you that you've survived before and you'll thrive again. Gratitude replays your past victories when your present gets hard. It reminds you of your resilience. It reconnects you with your why. Gratitude is also contagious. People are drawn to those who operate from abundance instead of complaint. They feel the strength in your presence, the peace in your tone, the energy in your execution. Gratitude doesn't just change you, it changes your environment. It lifts teams, improves cultures, strengthens families. It multiplies goodwill, and goodwill is one of the rarest currencies in any pursuit. Every day that begins in gratitude becomes a foundation for greatness, not because the day is easier, but because you are steadier, and the person who is steady has leverage. They do not chase the moment, they create it. They do not wait for luck, they work with what they've got. They do not envy others, they invest in themselves. Gratitude makes all of this possible. It is not merely a virtue, it is a strategy. Gratitude, when sustained, becomes identity. It stops being something you do and becomes who you are. It embeds itself into your language, your posture, your expectations. You no longer approach the world asking, "What can I get?" but instead, "What can I build with what I've been given?" That shift alone puts you on a completely different frequency from the masses. It separates you from the reactive, the entitled, the distracted. You become focused, intentional, alert, and here's the truth. Gratitude is a discipline long before it becomes a feeling. You don't wait for emotion to arrive, you lead it. You write down what you're thankful for even when your circumstances are screaming for complaint. You speak words of appreciation even when doubt knocks at the door. You don't do it to fake positivity. You do it to train perspective, because your perspective controls your power, and your power determines your outcomes. Every single day, life will give you 1,000 reasons to feel frustrated, ignored, behind. But if you are locked into gratitude, you learn to see the one reason that matters. You're still in the fight, still breathing, still learning, still able to choose your response. That's the advantage. The grateful individual sees possibility where others only see pain, and the more you practice it, the stronger it becomes. Like a muscle, gratitude grows with repetition. It takes over your internal dialogue. Your self-talk changes. You stop saying, "I have to," and you start saying, "I get to." That single switch transforms pressure into purpose. Tasks become training, setbacks become feedback, even rejection becomes redirection. Gratitude also gives birth to imagination. When you stop obsessing over what you lack, your mind is free to create. You shift from scarcity to solutions, from waiting for permission to acting on inspiration. Grateful people are not static. They are builders. They take what others overlook and turn it into gold. They innovate because they appreciate. They are not afraid to start small because they see value in the process, not just the result. And it is in the process where greatness is formed, not in the spotlight, but in the shadows, not when everyone is cheering, but when no one is watching. Gratitude keeps you grounded in those quiet seasons. It keeps you honest when shortcuts tempt you. It keeps you moving when momentum fades. That is the secret weapon, not just talent, not just drive, but a spirit that refuses to take anything for granted. You don't rise because you demand the world to notice you. You rise because you've trained yourself to notice the world, to notice progress, growth, lessons, people, and in that awareness you become trustworthy with more. The universe opens doors for those who respect what they already have. Gratitude proves you're ready, not because you say it, but because you've shown it. You've built a foundation of perspective that no loss can steal. That's real power. Gratitude is not a reaction, it is a creation. It is not the result of good fortune, it is the foundation for it. When you walk into a room with a grateful spirit, you don't just take space, you shift it. Your presence carries weight because it's grounded in something real, not ego, not desperation, not fear, but a quiet knowing that everything you need to begin is already in your hands. This is where confidence comes from. Not from applause or awards, but from the daily choice to value your time, your breath, your effort, your mind. The world is filled with people chasing more status, more comfort, more validation. But the person walking in gratitude becomes magnetic because they are already full. They attract not because they beg, but because they build. Gratitude becomes their edge, and make no mistake, this mindset will be tested. Life will throw losses at you, disappointment, betrayal, failure. But in those moments, gratitude becomes your compass. You anchor to it like a ship in a storm. You remind yourself that failure is a part of the journey, not the end of it. You remind yourself that growth is messy and breakthroughs don't come to the impatient. The world doesn't owe you ease, but it offers opportunity, and gratitude keeps you ready to receive it. You begin to realize that every struggle added something to you. That pain wasn't punishment, it was preparation, that every delay strengthened your character, that every no cleared the path for a better yes. And when you start connecting those dots, gratitude expands. It becomes not just appreciation for the good, but appreciation for the grind, for the stretch, for the sharpening. This mindset will not just serve you, it will protect you from burnout, from bitterness. From comparison, gratitude gives you eyes to see your lane, to trust your pace, to honor your own process. When others speed up out of fear, you stay consistent out of faith. You move with a sense of timing that's not rushed but focused. And the more you focus, the more you notice. You notice moments, people, possibilities. You become a collector of wisdom, a steward of lessons, a master of mindset, and all of it, the progress, the relationships, the results, will stem from that root of daily gratitude. So make it your practice, make it your power, write it down, speak it aloud, live it in your decisions. Let gratitude not just be something you feel when life goes well, but something you do, especially when it doesn't. Let it be your strategy, your anchor, your advantage, because in the end, gratitude is not weakness. It is strength under control. It is clarity in chaos. It is joy in motion. And it is the mark of someone who is not only ready to rise, but built to last. Thank you.